Mark, set, ready, go. All right, friends. Who wants to recap what we did last week? What happened?
Boat
I'm not very
shopping
good at intimidating.
Yeah.
was mostly shopping, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically.
And the museum. The museum
Yeah, we
was
finished the
fun.
museum.
Yeah, Lightning got an eye full of sun.
Oh yeah.
Shiniest thing in the room.
True. So you all had finished exploring and making rounds through the Gallery of Exploration. Kind of got some big, heavy exposition on the world around you. Went through a couple of rooms. I think one of the most notable things I remember y'all commenting on was that Grimsooth was like the original source of liftstone that powered the airships of Cyndrus. You all had made your way off to the Whispering Cat's boutique to go and order some clothes for the gala that takes place in a couple of days. After that, I believe you all decided to retire for the night as the day was beginning to come to a close. While you were at the...
Yay, long rest.
Indeed. While you were at the museum, you did run into Gonathan Oren, in the Relics of Ruin room, as he was fiddling away with some of the items on display, tinkering with one of the display stands, making sure everything was up to par. You learn that he was one of the administrators there, and he was in charge of taking care of the relics. He had mentioned that he had a partner off in the the upper market districts, who you could potentially get some items from, and he recommended taking a trip down at some point when you can. With that said, you all had retired Sev, Rayleigh, and Gale. You headed back off to the guild hall where you waved goodbye to Lightning. Lightning, you, not being a member, kind of wanted to fend off for yourself and found a nice spot right by the western city exit in a tavern by the name of A Different Fire Bar.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you all wanted to do overnight?
Probably just take it easy. Stressed out from the day. It was nice to unwind at the museum and everything, but for like covering for Lightning trying to think she was doing us a favor just kind of potentially made things worse. So I kind of think Gale is just over it and wants to pass out.
Sure.
I think Sev is gonna want to check the library at the guild hall, see if there's anything about vampires there,
Okay,
just in case.
gotcha.
You know what? I did check the museum's library for the doppelgangers, or what are they called? Is that
Yep.
what they're called?
So, yeah, both of you checked the library back at the museum, looking for any sort of information on these otherworldly creatures that you had encountered. Rayleigh, you were looking for doppelgangers. Seth, you were looking for vampires. Not able to find a whole lot of information on either at the library itself, or at the museum itself.
Right. So, I mean, if she's checking the guild's library, I guess I'll do that too.
Sure.
Library party! Let's go to the library and party, and then get kicked out of the library for partying. Because in the library, you're supposed to be quiet.
True. True. All right. And what about you, Lightning?
Nah, we rested after the eventful, uneventful day we had.
Fair enough. All right. So, Sev and Rayleigh, as you try to peruse, like, you can go straight in. It's late. It's roughly around like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night when you all make your way back from the other side of the city. And there isn't really a lot going on. There are a couple of folks off to the like direct left of the entrance to the guild hall. You can see that they're just sitting down in a couple like the large recliners of the library. You see like a little fire going directly in the center of the room. You can easily make your way through the room, try to like look for any sort of information. You're able to find books that talk about various different like regions of the land, like nearby cities, nearby creatures, animals, but nothing specifically you're looking for.
I see.
All right.
Kind of get the sense like this is more of a more like local type of deal, and if you're looking for any sort of specific information, you might have to go somewhere a bit more niche.
All right. Well,
All right, well, that said, you all are able to retire for the night, able to take a nap and get a nice long rest in. Morning comes, say roughly around 9 o'clock. What do y'all plan on doing?
I'll go. I guess I know that they mentioned the guild hall, so I'll go try to find the guild hall
Sure,
and find them. I guess.
yeah.
sure. Easy enough. You can make your way back over through the market district, and you can see a like large crest right above like a 2-story building has the guild's crest on. You can see just Grimsouth Guild Hall. Make your way in. Try to wait for them there.
What time of day is this now?
Roughly around 9 o'clock.
All right. Now, I don't remember the last time I would have thought about this, but I'm assuming there's somewhere in Grimsouth where I would be able to fish here and there, yeah?
Any sort of like fishing area would be outside the city.
All right. Like, how far outside the city?
Probably like a couple hours walk, maybe like an hour's walk. It's like a local pond. The area itself, like inside the city, is kind of like all off limits. You could try going around, like skirting down the river, but like the surrounding area of the like Caldorian River leading into Grimsouth is kind of rocky, so it's going to take a bit trying to find a good spot to actually be able to cast your line out.
Well, damn. I just wanted to get more fish.
I think I just want to have a lazy morning because I'd have no idea what I want to do.
Yeah, I guess so.
Gale knows what he wants to do, but he kind of wants to do it by himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll still meet up with everyone in whatever. I'm assuming everyone's in like the mess hall kind of area.
Right. Yeah, that's probably where I'd be.
Okay. So the three of you then can make your way down from your rooms and head off towards the back end of the building, take like the back stairway down. And the smell of
I'll take
food
care
just
of the piranha plants and everything.
yes.
Yeah.
What were the names again?
The
Madam
Snapdragon?
Chomp and I forget what the male one was. Mr. Bitey.
Mr.
Yeah.
Bitey, there we
Mr.
go.
Bitey
Yeah.
and Mrs. Chomp.
Yeah. It's fantastic. So you three can make your way down towards the stairs, towards like the back end of the building. Take a open seat at at the like long table and just order some food. It's about this time while they're back there lighting that you begin to walk through the doors, and you see towards your left there's like a large library about like 15 feet away or so. To your right there's a couple of like tables, chairs set up. You see a couple of patrons who are like downing some drinks and a little bit of food to eat. Right in front of you, roughly about like 10, 15 or so feet away or so, you see a half-elf. Large circular rimmed glasses, hair just kind of like tied up in a messy bun, who's just kind of humming away, stamping down at papers and shuffling around different objects on the desk, kind of minding their own business. What are you looking at doing?
I'm gonna ask her if she's seen any of my like previous party members. So I'm gonna approach her and be like, excuse me, have you seen kind of a and I try to like describe like Sev, Gale, and Rayleigh. And then I mentioned like, and Rayleigh probably has a wolf with him. I'm like,
Yes, of course. I know exactly who you're talking about. They've become quite regulars. Are you a friend of theirs?
yeah, yes.
Would they be expecting you?
I think I'm a little bit early from when they would be expecting me, but in a sense, yeah.
I see. All right. Give me one moment here. She begins to
Sure.
reach across the desk and pulls out a bell, like a little like handbell, and just like puts it down right next to her and begins to tap it and ring it. You don't hear anything. You just hear like her hands brush up against like another object, like the physical contact, but you don't hear like the ring of a bell. A couple of seconds goes by, and you see coming from a door behind her, someone dressed in like very fine, kind of like very like rich, like dark colored greens, but like very rough fabric. Come out, just begins to like whisper to them. They nod and go back. If you could take a seat over here, once ready, your friends will be right out to greet you.
Sure.
She'll wave you off, go back to cycling through papers. Sev, Rayleigh, and Gale, you all can. While you're eating, an attendant will come your way, begin to just like look through the mess hall for you, like anyone matching the descriptions he was told about, and he'll begin to let you know that there's someone here waiting for you. I'm not sure what exactly it's about. They said that you should be expecting them. When you're ready, go and meet them out in the foyer.
My mouth is full of bacon. That time already, eh? Suppose we should guess we better be getting on with our business then. Kind of like try to finish.
Munch down on some sausage too.
The attendant will give you a slight little bow and begin to walk off back to the doors that you came from. All right, so
Yeah.
once you're done, you all can excuse yourselves, leave your plates on the table, and begin to walk towards the foyer. You'll see Lightning, I assume, just off in one of the tables alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I just walk up to them, and I'm sure Gail isn't really happy to see me. And I just say like I didn't know what else to do, and I guess Dressmoreland like isn't around, so I'm bugging you guys.
Well, you certainly found us. Let's see, did anything that you needed to get done before the gala in a few days need to be shown around town for anything at all?
Not really. I had that vial to turn in, and that was about it. But it did mention to see Dressmoreland, and apparently can't get a hold of the man until the gala. So I'm your problem now.
Oh, all right then. I'll look over to Gale and Rayleigh. Well, suppose we could take a walk about town.
Yeah, did you get anything to eat?
I had some bread and some beer.
Nice, good sustenance there.
The ones that matter anyway.
Well, we did speak about, the artificer's partner, at the museum. Perhaps we could make a venture out where he mentioned.
Yeah, I'm down. I think he mentioned that he has some interesting objects we might be keen to.
Most likely. Not sure how much I'm looking to spend today, but it would be nice to know where I could find things of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
I
come
mean, I
along,
don't-
although I do have a bit of an alchemy research project I'd like to engage in once we finish looking at the artificer's place.
Yes, and I would like to see if I could find a bigger library to. I still haven't found quite what I'm looking for regarding vampires, so going to need to track some bigger selections of reading material somewhere. Well, shall we get going then?
That's
I
good.
mean, I don't think we have any other plans today. So, why not?
Yes. Alright then. Tally ho.
Fantastic. So you all can make your way, excuse yourself from the guild hall here, like the doors just kind of like thud behind you, making your way out to the actual market district itself. Where do you want to go first? Do you want to take a stroll through the immediate area? Do you want to head off towards like the upper end of the market district on the eastern side? Did you want to go through a couple of side areas first? What's the day
Did
look
we
like
get
for
an
you?
address for where this place is? Are we gonna have to search for it, or?
Know that it's in the upper market district, a little bit north of where the museum is. No specific address. You probably have to ask a couple folks, or try to look for signs trying to direct you
Yeah.
around.
Do we see any like map signs or like signposts?
So in the immediate area, yeah, I mean, you can see a lot of different signs for the different streets, the back roads, the alleys, the immediate shops here. This is more of like so Grimseth is divided into two halves, or divided into two halves. The west side is a bit more of the commoner to middle class side. The east side is the upper end to more noble portion. So the enchantment shop would be the off to the east side. More general shops would be found around here. So I wanted to take a look around. Could absolutely go through like what you could find around here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
Sounds like a plan.
there's a large list of stuff that is immediately nearby. You can find an armorer, a smith, could both either fashion new weapons or armor for you. There
Looking
is
to protect yourself or deal some damage.
true. There are a couple of magic-y shops that might have a couple of items in them. Two are more accessible, we'll say. One seems to be more of like a second-hand shop or a thrift shop. There is a tinkerer's shop who works in working with like nuts and bolts and making mechanical creations. There's also a jeweler in the immediate area, as well as a bookshop.
Is this not the one that we went to before? Or I guess maybe I'm thinking we went to the one at Abbey Brook, but not here.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling I went to one of the magic shops at some point since when I was spending money on stuff.
Training, right.
Right, you would have frequented probably the Starlight Emporium, Sev.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna assume then that, wait, what would that, I don't remember, what kind of dude did this guy say we were looking for in the shop? Like, are we looking for another drow, or?
Didn't say his race. Just let you know that you're looking for Asher. Can find him at Asher's Enchantments in the
Okay.
upper shopping district.
So, I'd say, we could probably pop into, my usual shop. I guess I can try asking if he knows, where I could find Asher.
Sure. Yeah,
And
sounds good.
is a New Leaf the bookshop, or is that like the herb store?
Oh no, I'm sorry. A New Leaf is the like the herbalist store.
Okay, and is that where the Dragonborn I trained with works, or is that someone else?
No, the Dragonborn was pulled out of another city to come train.
Okay.
Okay then.
All right. So where y'all looking? Are you looking to head together as a group, or are we splitting things up?
Let's head together as a group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
So we all can make our way over towards the Starlight Emporium. Make your way over towards like the northwest portion of the market square. And you see an obnoxiously colored purple building marking the end of a side street breaking off from the market plaza. There are specks of white, kind of like reminiscent of stars, that litter the paneling of the shop. Inside is a low-lit single room, shelves full of small trinkets that line the walls, and behind a counter set in the direct middle of the room is an older human woman. She's wearing Sev, you would know her signature pointed hat, and she eagerly welcomes as she sees you in once again. Oh yes, hello, welcome back. Is there anything I could interest you in today?
Oh, good morning. Now, I'm actually wondering if you might be able to point me in the direction of, a fellow named Asher, Asher's Enchantments. We need to speak with him, and, not sure where his business might be.
Yes, you would be looking to cross the bridge off to the eastern side. He is going to be, he and his partner are going to be off towards the southern end of the shopping district there. A little bit, just a couple blocks north of the entrance to the entertainment district.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the information. I will certainly be back around. Be expecting some new work soon, and I can come see what new things you might have in store for me then. But for now, thank you very much for letting me know.
Absolutely. And she outstretches her hands, palm facing up, looking at you very expectantly.
I will take her hand then.
You see she kind of like just furrows her brow and drops her hand. Yes, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh,
Failed the charisma roll or insight check.
yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna quickly rifle through my my coin purse. I'll give her a silver. Sorry, still waking up a bit here. Sorry.
Sorry.
I understand, dearie. She takes the silver and kind of looks a little displeased and breathes, takes another look at you. Enjoy the rest of your day, you and your friends.
Cheers. Walk out the door. Well,
Hippo lead.
well,
Lightning reaches out at Sev and grabs Sev's hand and just giggles.
Yes, very funny. Well, I did get us the information we were looking for. So, onward we shall go then.
Always tip your gossiper.
All right. So we all can make our way towards the upper side of town. You can make your way through the northern gates and kind of goes towards like the central district. You see that this becomes more residential past the gatehouses, and it's a like mishmash of like 1-floor houses, 2-floor houses, but the designs become more elaborate as you begin to reach the center of town, crossing the bridge. And as you cross the bridge, you find yourself more in like the government, the political side of town. You see more like reinforced buildings, guards patrolling around, like 2 at a time, like shoulder to shoulder. You see lots of folks just off in like nice suits and other more formal attire. A couple will give you like a side eye and kind of like a glance of confusion before they carry on entering these like large, kind of like luxurious buildings. Making way south, you all can make your way to more luxurious, more elegant houses, much larger, have like large lawns that are very, very well kept. After about 2 hours or so of walking, make your way through the other side of town, you find yourself in the market district there. You can follow a couple of signs, ask a couple of folks where exactly where Asher's shop is, and they'll point you down a couple of blocks. You eventually, around midday or so, find yourself right in front of the shop. And you see a single floor building made of smooth gray stone, and you see a metal sign that dances in the breeze along its stand, displaying a symbol composed of a smith's hammer surrounded by an aura of sorts. And the text right below reads Asher's Enchantments. I assume y'all are just heading straight inside.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Fantastic. You see a large reinforced metal door squeaks open. Excuse me. And you find yourself in the midst of scattered items atop of wooden tables. Wooden display tables kind of have the same foggy glass texture as the museum, where it's fogged up the further you are, but as you begin to inch closer, starts to clear up for you. Positioned between tables here and there are a couple of lumbering 8-foot-tall iron golems, steam erupting from exhaust pipes coming out of their head, sprouting kind of like horns. About 10 feet directly to your right is a wooden counter, its clerk hunched over facing the wall away from you. And just beyond the figure, you hear zaps of energy crossing and immediately see sparks fly out and land on what seems to be a reinforced metal workstation. Across from him, along the far wall behind the counter, is another figure as well, tinkering, fiddling away with something on a table that they're currently at.
What was the name of the elf back in the museum again? I'm not good with names.
Was Gonathan.
Okay.
And second question, did the golems appear like they were actually helping work the store, or not?
They appear to just be standing, active, and like you can see like steam coming across, but they're
probably
just
guards.
motionless.
Okay.
So there's two guys here then, yeah?
Yep, one that's closest to the counter, directly to the right of you. One that's a little bit further along towards the back wall.
Excuse me. I am looking for, Asha?
Yep. Hey, that's me. You see the figure to the immediate right of you just turn around, and you just see like these giant, like blue tinted goggles that kind of like magnify his eyes. Just like different tufts of like silvery hair, kind of like strewn about. What can I do for you? It appears to be a half elf, very like pale complexion, wearing some like brown overalls and like a blue, like soft blue shirt.
Oh, well, we had just met, someone by the name of Jonathan yesterday. He mentioned that, we may find interest in some of your little wonders here. Thought we'd stop by and see what there was to see.
I mean, yeah, that's great. I mean, I always use the business. How's Jonathan doing?
He seems to be very immersed in his work, but, I mean, you seem to be the same type. I can see why you get along so well. Seemed happy enough, kept up with the museum. You see, we recently, made some contributions to the museum ourselves. So, you know, we were taking a look around and we found him, maintaining the exhibits, as he does.
Oh, well, fantastic. Yeah, he always tends to get caught in his work. I mean, we could say the same. Well, he's busy. Okay. Don't worry about Quinn back there. He's once he gets involved in a project, he kind of just can't stop till he's finished. So.
Oh, I know. I'm familiar with the process myself. No worries.
So, is there anything specific you're looking for, or?
I'm not sure. I just sort of wanted to see what sort of work you do exactly.
Well, you see, I happen to be an artificer by trade, making some small little trinkets here and there and selling the works that I can actually make. My buddy back there, Quentin, he's what we call a marksmith. And he takes these little runes, can etch them into the stuff that I make and enchant them further.
Certainly sounds up my alley. I'm a mage by trade myself. So you make the contraptions and he enchants them?
Essentially. I pour a little bit of my magical know-how, but he just, whatever he does with these runes, man, they just extend the capabilities.
They be hitting different.
It sounds to be quite the partnership. Could you show me whatever it is that you finished most recently?
Oh, I mean, I can show what we have right in stock for display. That's not a problem. He'll begin to like move along the counter and lift up one of the tablecloth runners and flip open the like counter divider and actually begin to like walk the floor. What about the rest of y'all? Do you have anything that you need looked at? I mean, if you have weapons, if you've got a little bit of some armor pieces, I mean, Quentin back here, when he's ready, you can go spruce them up if you'd like.
Let me have a look at my inventory.
Could you explain exactly what these enchantments are exactly?
Like how, I mean, you might have to put on your, like, tutorial hat and tell us how it works, like, system-wise.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on.
So essentially, the artificer itself makes some like little trinkets that can have some like ancillary like magical effects, and essentially they're the magic item creators. The marksmith is an idea where those capabilities are further enhanced by imbibing the use of runes and letters and symbols onto the weapons. That could further enhance whatever capabilities they have.
So are we talking about like additional effects or just higher rolls on damage, or what are we talking about?
So, with what's as far as like weapons or armor, Asher would be able to silver any weapons that you need, if you'd like to have them coated. Quentin would be
Bob
able
does
to.
still have a silvered weapon and shield, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, did Lightning or no, Bax was the one who took the silvered axe. Okay. Because I couldn't remember if Lightning took any of the silvered things before.
Okay, so silver equals magical, is that what you're saying?
Yes, there are certain. I mean, Sev, you know this, especially with
Undead.
having like read specifically about vampires recently.
Yeah.
You know that like silver weapons would be effective against vampires or werewolves or other similar such supernatural creatures.
Yep, good to know.
Among the other list
Would it
of
have like a +1 effect for like regular creatures, or just like the supernaturals that are affected by silver?
it would just mechanically would not have a +1 to the attack rolls or damage, but it would overcome any resistances if there were.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, back in the one shot,
When we all
y'all
totally forgot about the weapon.
y'all were dealing half damage to Vampire Daddy because you weren't using silver weapons.
Oh my freaking gosh. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the first things Dale mentioned when we ended, and I'm like, I mean, to be fair, I didn't use weapons at all. I used magic the entire time,
Yeah.
so...
Which, I mean,
Also,
is what it
Bax
is.
wouldn't have
So,
known the difference,
Yeah.
just because like he doesn't really do supernatural things. So
Sure.
Fog probably would have known the difference, but probably wouldn't have thought to mention it to anyone, so...
but
yeah.
just for example, like those are the types of things that you can like expect from like different kinds of
silvered weapons.
like different treated weapons. Yeah. Mechanically, Quentin does have the ability to enhance a weapon to make it +1, and specifically becoming a +1 from the marksmith, it would count as a magical weapon for purposes of
it would
overcoming
overcome like almost all resistances.
Right. Having a +1 weapon made by a smith itself would grant you the more damage and the higher roll to hit, but not become specifically magical. And Quentin can also make a +1 set of armor if you'd like.
The armor is probably more what I would look after, but... Oh, wait, never
Now,
mind. No.
Can he +1 it and give it some kind of other resistance, or would it just be like +1 armor?
It would just be +1 armor.
No,
Okay.
I'm wondering if, I mean, similar to, I mean, you know how we have our rings of overprotection. I'm wondering if we could get any other sort of item like that for, you know, bonus AC of sorts.
That's probably what this is.
Well, the difference is with armor is I can't wear actual armor, so it would have to be something similar to the ring that's a piece of jewelry or a headpiece or something that I could wear.
Or like a piece of cloth that was already enchanted that
Yeah,
might
yeah.
boof you up.
Right, like maybe like +1 robes, like I could do that. I just can't do +1 armor.
Yep, you can definitely ask. Quincy will respond back. It's a little trickier, a little bit smaller. I haven't quite figured out how to etch the runes quite right on anything that's not a nice and sturdy size.
I figured it was bit of a reach there, but I find that wearing proper armor hinders me greatly, and I've found other ways of protecting myself, but anything stiff enough for you to work with probably would be a bit too much for me, unfortunately.
Well,
Speaking of which, I mean, go on with your explanation, but I just kind of wanted to know how much it would be for if I kind of point at my leather armor.
sure. So Quentin's gonna put down his tools, a little clatter at the table. He's gonna look back at y'all. Miss, if you're not quite capable of wearing armor, I hear there are sets of elven armor that would, they're not so tricky to wear. They don't really tie up your movements that you might want to take a look into. I'm not sure of any sets myself, but I've heard there might be something else. We might try to find maybe an elven smith or something to make it. Maybe somewhere in
There one in town?
godforsaken Mistwood.
Mistwood,
No.
you said?
No sets in town as far as I'm aware. Like, no smiths here making them. But, I mean, could always check maybe
Can
like...
Gale make an insight check? Would Silphsong potentially have elven smiths?
Silphsong could potentially have elven smiths. At best, they would probably all be light armor, like mostly of like hide or leather and such.
Sure.
Nothing on the heavier side.
Okay.
Mistwood, where's that again?
The northwest section.
Okay, and would I be familiar with that area?
Heard of it. You know, like it's a very like secretive place.
Yeah. Well, I certainly could get have some sort of contact with Mistwood if that's where I would need to look. But good to know that there is something out there that I may be better with.
Just a thought. I mean, I don't want to say that you'll need to interact with Mistwood. There are a bunch of interesting folks out there, but I mean, their work is
interesting folks.
Their work is great, and I can't deny that as a fellow craftsman. So that might be something you're looking for. I mean, there could be something potentially. Maybe someone picked up an odder end. You might find it somewhere else, but any loose sets, I don't know.
Well, certainly something I could keep my eye out for and bring back to you for augmentation if I do.
Would definitely appreciate getting my hands on it just to see how exactly it all gets put together.
Bit sad I was never informed of such armor in my my study days, but certainly something I get along quite well with a variety of interesting people. So something I could perhaps talk with my sibling about such an endeavor. Well,
Yeah, I wish you luck. And begins to sit back down and tinker away at his workstation. Around this time, Asher begins to lead you all through the shop and through the different tables and begins to explain the different items and trinkets that he's gone over. A couple to note, if anyone is interested. There is a basket for 3 gold. He explained that this basket is just a normal basket. It's like a few feet tall, but it houses a small fragment of a gelatinous cube inside. And if there are any organic items that are left inside, the most objects are dissolved by around 4 days. So it just constantly dissolves whatever organic material is left inside, like a trash receptacle of sort.
A gelatinous cube.
explains that he has a grappling hook, has a couple on stock they could part with for
Oh.
2 gold.
And what's special about these grappling hooks?
Oh, there's grappling hooks. They're, handy if you need to get someplace.
Oh,
And
I've certainly found good reason to have grappling hooks on hand.
begins to open up the display case and take them out so you can take a look at them. 2 gold per.
I think I'm still more a bit interested in the cube.
All right. Well, if that tickles your fancy, it's gonna lead you around.
3 gold.
3 gold for the basket. Yep.
All right, I'll take it.
All right. He'll go ahead and get the basket out. It's this like nice kind of like thicket basket, roughly like 2.5 feet tall. And as you look inside, you see like a very small portion, like a gelatinous cube. That's just in there. It's kind of like jiggly and wobbly and bouncing around, and begins to demonstrate. He's going to put like a bit of food he had at the counter, little like crumbs of bread, just like sprinkle them down. And a couple seconds later, you just see them like absorbed into the cube itself.
I'm going to call him Mr. Wiggles.
Yeah, it's yours now. Okay. For the rest of you, it's gonna
Lightning,
go back
you're the
through.
only one without a pet now.
I know.
That's true.
Oh my god, that's so.
He's gonna
Love to
show
get
you.
one for Reese and Jinprax now too.
You're right.
He's going to open up a couple of other display cases. Don't mind the golems. They're here for help. They're here for protection. You don't do anything wrong. You're not gonna mess with them. You see a little like burst of steam begin to pop out of one of the horns as he walks by.
I do think they're quite charming.
He shows you an iron strongbox, small little box. You see, like this is a box crafted out of iron, built to store valuable objects inside. Comes with its own key, useful if you have anything specific that you want to protect, that you want to like lug around a whole large chest with you.
Certainly interesting. Although I personally have quite a bit of storage units that are sealed magically, so if the rest of you lot would like to get such a thing, I could always put an additional magic lock on it as well. But myself, I am good on protective storage.
Begin showing you back around the corner. There is a bag of ball bearings, and it begins to take one out. Or take the bag out of the display stand. You just see like this kind of small leather pouch. Explains, okay, there's only 15 of these in here, okay? And begins to remove one. And you see that in his fingers, there's a tiny, small little ball bearing, but it seems as if it's had the light cantrip cast on it, as it sheds light out for about 5 feet, and then you see like a little bit of dimmer light extending out for about 5 more feet. These are useful if you need to find something, just drop it down somewhere, toss it out somewhere. It can act as like beacons if you're out somewhere dark. Always nice for finding your way back to something. These are going for 20 gold.
And just to be clear, when you take them out of a bag, they light up, they go dim eventually, and then they stay dim?
Yeah, these have a life expectancy once used around 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Do they recharge if you put them back in the bag?
They do not.
That's expensive.
All right. Begins to like tie it up and put it back into the display stand. Closes. If you're into some more of the shadier side of business, or you have got some friends you like to mess with, I'm
Like
kind of proud
years,
of
like
these
Virgo.
little beauties myself. Would hate to part with them. Begins to open up a display case towards the far wall. Takes out 3 6-sided dice.
Oh.
Now, these are some weighted dice. If you're able to master the movements right, able to, well, should pop up to any of the higher numbers. But if you really, really want something, should be able to get the exact result you're looking for. If you know how to throw them right.
My sibling would love these, but they're out of town at the moment. How much?
Only a paltry 35 gold.
Well, I will certainly let them know they're here and how much to bring for them. They will certainly be a fan of these dice. I'm not particularly good with them myself, but my sibling would certainly be a good customer.
Alright, well, if you don't want to pick up now, I can't guarantee they're going to be here later, but that's okay. Whatever suits you. And just to put them back into the stand and closes the top. Well, I mean, we do have a couple of miscellaneous gems and jewels over here and there. Begins to go into how this one's worth that much, this much. There's a range between roughly 25 gold to 400 gold's worth of like any specific gem or jewel.
Those will certainly come in handy depending on if there's a spell that any of us might need to use it for.
We do have a couple of potions that I was brewing up a few days ago back here. See
What
that he
sort?
has a couple of healing potions. He's got 3 potions of greater healing. He's selling for 202 gold.
I certainly don't have that much on me right now, but we're always in the market for potions.
I mean, I brew them semi-daily. They don't... They're fresh enough, is what I like to say. Begins to go over a couple of the other items. You see on stands a couple suits of armor. You see that there's a mithril ring mail set. There's a mithril chain shirt. And there is Mariner's chainmail. The Mariner's mail, he begins to explain, is something they can use to swim underwater and not be like encumbered while wearing like heavy armor.
Something else Fog might be interested in one day.
Explains that mithril, the mithril armor is a set that's mostly crafted by elves, not the same kind that Quentin was talking about a little bit earlier, but it doesn't pose any sort of like disadvantages on stealth checks. Like if you're trying to like be very quiet, it doesn't impede your ability to kind of like muffle sound. And the last item he'll show you, he takes out from behind the counter as he begins to head back. Now, this here is something that we don't really show very often, but you've all seemed to express a little bit of interest in our stock here. Now this, we got a while ago. We weren't able to get any direct buyers. He pulls out this large sapphire that he has to hold like two hands. You can see there's a like visage of a star kind of like in the center of it, spreading all along. You can kind of see like a star-like pattern. It forms like the core and then the blue of the sapphire is kind of opaque enough or translucent enough to see within. That explains that if you crack this when you're casting a spell, using it as some of your components, it has a chance to augment it, make it a bit stronger, make the effects a bit more potent.
I assume it only has one use, though.
Once used, it is used in the casting, yeah.
How much?
We can let it go for 1,350 gold.
Oh, I certainly do not have that at the moment, but I would certainly be interested after next good payday, let's say.
Well, we can't really hold items here, but if it's still
Oh,
here and you're able to
that's
come
perfectly
back,
fair.
it's all yours, provided you got the cash.
Well, but I will certainly remember that you have this.
So, taking a look at all of you, you seem to be involved in some sort of, well, not everyday normal common business. I mean, coming in here. What all is it that you do, if you don't mind my asking?
Guild work mostly. We end up in plenty of different combat situations. I mean, the three of us at least. I mean, Lightning, she's been here once. I don't really know too much about her yet.
Well, as my sibling would say, we follow where the tides of business take us.
Okay, well, just for the record, if price is a major concern or issue for you all, I had some of my stock misplaced.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, seems that the docks were kind of hit the other day. I was expecting a shipment coming in.
Oh, goodness. You know what? We may have even encountered the thieves that you're speaking of. Where exactly on the docks were your goods taken?
They were along like the northern side. Good like begins to explain some of the like addresses and the blocks
kinda
around.
gesture and mention around warehouse 134.
No, that's quite a bit away from us. That's like on the eastern side. We were more on like the northwestern side, closer to like the gates. We were at warehouse 17.
I
That's quite
see,
a
I
way,
see.
but certainly seems like these are some wide-reaching thieves.
I mean, I've heard that like there's been a whole ordeal down with some looting at the docks recently. I'm definitely not going to be sending anything out again, but if you're able to recover anything, you find any bit of information, I mean, let me know. It was a whole collection of rings that I was going to be sending out, and they were just nabbed up.
Well, I certainly, well, I look at the others. We don't really have a whole lot of other pressing matters going on.
No, we don't.
So we have certainly done this sort of help for other business owners in the past. So certainly nothing we're new to, and especially since we may have a lead of sorts. We'll see what we can do.
All right, I mean, yeah, if you could, I'd appreciate it. Might give you a slight discount if you're able to return the stock. We can work something out.
Okay.
Lightning like leans in and is like, I definitely can offer my services, and like kind of shoves a claw out of her paw, like in a like threatening way. And then but like gestures like towards where the sapphire is and is like, but I definitely want that.
You and I both, dear. Well, we shall see what we are able to come up with.
I mean, if you got the money, we can work out a little side negotiation deal. That's fine. But any help at all would be appreciated.
All right then. I say we go speak with those guards who have the one captured from the other day.
Right, exactly.
Okay. With that, he will go ahead and bid you off. You all can say farewell. And you're left out on the streets of the city.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, I say like considering it is a starting point, like we can go find where the captured thief was being held.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
let's see if we can get the guards to actually talk to us about it, see if they've learned anything.
Yeah.
And if not, then I guess we go back to Warehouse 17 and see if we can find anything there.
Yes. I may be able to talk to some acquaintances or colleagues of Fog, see if they've heard anything about a group like this going about town. We've got 3 places to start at least. All right then. Let's head off.
I agree.
All right. So, where are you all heading off to next then?
Start with guards, I guess.
Everyone in agreement?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Guards,
I'm good.
ahoy.
So you all can make your way off to where the guards are stationed. Spent a good while off in the shop, just looking over like Jonathan's wares. Not Jonathan, Asher's wares. So it's roughly like 12:30-ish. No. Ish. It's gonna take you about another like 40 minutes or so, top of the hour, to head back off to the northern section. Making your way back over to the more of the government area. You can see this is where the guards seem to be coming out of, and where the guards will be stationed and coming from. You can easily enough find the I can't think of the name of the building. But like the guards' quarters, and make your way inside, and you see that there's a like 2 guards right outside the entryway, and they just kind of like look at you, give you a little eye, begin to look back.
Do we recognize any of the guards from the other day?
No. Give me a perception if you want to like take a quick scan of any guards in the area, but the 2 outside the door are not.
Okay. Womp womp.
With a
Yeah, not
13.
rolling hot. Ouch. Let me try that again. I forgot to enable.
Wait, yeah, it looks like mine didn't enable.
You have to enable that on every time.
I
Yep.
don't usually.
Yeah, that's very
Suppose-
weird.
I
don't
Mine
under.
didn't come through either. Wait, did it? I thought I saw my color.
I don't understand.
So my roll didn't come through?
No.
Only one I got was
Um,
lightnings.
Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
And,
Virtual
don't-
tabletop not found.
Understand why? Like,
let's see. Again, I just want to.
what's up, Kara? I hope the night's going well for you.
What is the issue? How do I?
I don't know why.
Alright, let's see if that worked.
Yeah, does this work?
So I'm dropping hella
Oh,
frames
no.
again, and it's very frustrating.
Oh no.
Like, it has been ongoing for the past, like, 6 minutes, and I'm getting really fucking tired of this shit.
Stream at Comcast again.
Oh,
Okay, so it did come through that time. That's good.
Yep, so only one I have so far is Lightning and Rayleigh.
that's because I haven't figured out what I'm doing on here yet. Like, I don't know how to
I don't understand
enable
what the
it.
issue is.
Enabling the Beyond 20 thing. Options.
Okay, good. So I did figure it out.
Mhm.
Or I guess I say that, but I'm not sure what changed.
Click on.
Yeah, I don't know, because, like, when... My stuff's just automatic. Like, it does it without me having to
Well,
do
that's
anything
the thing,
else.
though, is that
So,
mine usually is too. I've never had an issue until now, so
I don't
No,
know.
Yeah,
mine
usually I
every
just
single
press
time
play.
I log in, I have to like just click on it to tell it to do something. Like to tell it like it's good.
It's so strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
it's still saying that. What the fuck?
What is the
Let
problem?
me- It will not let me.
What is the
There we
problem it
go.
is telling you?
It is telling me that I am not connected to virtual tabletop Foundry. It
Do
is
you
telling
have
me I
both
need to
windows open?
enable. What?
Do you have both windows open?
Yeah. I haven't done anything like that I don't normally do. And I don't.
If you're in Chrome, you have to click the add-in, but I feel like I did that earlier and it didn't work the first time, but did work the second time.
Yeah,
So
that's why
I don't know why.
Right now, what? Seriously? Oh, great! I got a nat 20 on acrobatics. That didn't. Oh, God damn it!
Give me 1 second.
How?
I saw a die roll.
That is for Seth.
Okay, Dale fixed it. I think he needs to remember that, like, my computer literacy basically is just there's a wizard in my computer and I tell it to do something and it does it. So, like, you guys are talking about extensions and enabling and virtual whatever, and I'm like, yeah, well, I'm telling my wizard to do this and it's not. So, all right.
It's okay.
Okay, let me try this one. Oh, wait. This time it didn't do the thing. One roll sense.
It did the thing.
It did the thing?
Just need to swap back to the
Oh,
page.
it's just very laggy on my end. Okay.
Well,
I'm
it
wondering.
depends on when you swap back to the page.
Oh, okay. See, I never had that issue before, though. Huh. Okay.
Right. We all set?
Well, let me. Well, I have to actually roll perception.
All right.
What does it say? I can't see yet.
Nothing has happened.
Seriously. Oh. Okay.
Have you swapped back to the page?
Oh, okay. So it. Okay. Huh. I just swapped back like a couple times. Nothing.
Nope.
What the fuck?
What is the issue?
My perception roll is not showing up on
I
Foundry.
understand that. What is the issue?
I
Like,
don't
what is the
know.
cause of it?
That's the point, is I don't know, because I don't know how computers work. Like,
Give me a
I
second.
legitimately. Okay, so I'll do this. Normal roll. Do I actually have to click the B? I never had to do that before. Okay. Alright, I think we figured it out. I don't know what changed though, because I definitely did not have to do it that way before. It must have something to do with, like, the new network, maybe? Regardless, rolls have been made.
Okay, so now that we're all set,
Yeah.
there's no one around. You do not recognize any of the folks that are present.
Well, I guess, I guess we can still just ask the ones here. You lot are aware of the thieves that were trying to steal from Dresmorland the other day, yes?
There were a couple of punks who were, well, there's one punk who got brought in, yeah.
Where is he being kept?
Gives the other guard a look. And why would you like to know?
We are thinking he may have stolen something else important to us, more than we originally thought.
Why wasn't that reported at the time?
Because we weren't aware it was missing until today.
Alright, well, if you have any stolen items, you're gonna need to fill out some paperwork inside. Begins to head off and open the door for you and points down to a counter to your right. You see a couple of like attendants behind the desk, currently assisting a couple of townsfolk. You don't have to wait, but get up there, sign over the documents, give a rough estimate of the things you lost, and then we'll get back to you.
All right.
Sir, we were actually employed to find these items. That's kind of like what we do. So I know that your job is to make us fill out paperwork. But we're not gonna have the right answers. Can we just talk to the guy for a couple seconds here? Like, it'll be like less than 5 minutes, I promise.
Sorry, it's currently in city capacity. He is a little bit indisposed at the moment.
As I
Indisposed.
understand it, we're looking for a few rings from Asher's enchantment that got stolen, apparently. So
Begins to just give like a long sigh. Fine. Wait here. Be right back.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Begins to make his way off towards the desk that he had pointed you to. Begins to talk with some of the attendants that are there. A few minutes goes by. I see a couple of folks like walk in, a couple of folks walk out past you. Comes back. Yeah, so all the paperwork's been filed. We had the missing items reported back roughly about a week ago. We didn't really have any leads to go on. We got a couple of passerby spotted a couple of cloaked figures, they said, but nothing solid to go on.
okay.
Well, I suppose that's it for here then. Well,
Yep.
thank you for the information you had access to, at least.
All right, well, if there's anything else, you can go ask the ladies over at the desk. If not, carry on. He'll return to his post outside.
Alright, well, I think our next move should perhaps be finding Fogg's people and seeing what they know.
I mean, I think we should check the warehouse too. So, mean-
Certainly. Certainly do both.
maybe we do that while you do your thing. I mean, you don't normally like having a bunch of people around, so.
Sure, that's fair. Alright, well, I'll meet up with you back at the warehouse, though.
To the warehouse.
We
Ba-da-ba-da-da. Yeah, so you all can make your way off towards the warehouse then. And Sev is taken off.
Yep.
Going off to your own devices.
Yep.
Fantastic. So as the rest of the party makes their way back over to the warehouse, it's going to take you quite a bit. You can, I believe, the fastest way would be to take the like northern bridge off to the west, going back through the residential, back through the market districts, back down through the south gates to the actual docks. And then, Sev, you can travel with them, taking your path off to the west before heading northwards to Undertown. As the three of you, Gale, Rayleigh, and Lightning now, you spend the next roughly hour or so traversing through a couple of like back alleys and kind of avoiding like the rush, the like midday rush of the main streets. make your way back through the market district to the gates leading to the docks. There's a familiar looking guard stationed right outside. Begins to see the three of you approach once again. Begins to like drop his shoulders and look over at you. Yes, state
Right.
your business. What are you coming back down here for? Looking back at you, Waylon, Gale.
So we went over to. Oh, sorry.
No, he's looking towards both of you. So
Okay. So we went over to Asher's Enchantments today, a magic shop nearby, and we heard that he had some stuff stolen from Warehouse 17. He was hoping we could find it for him. I figured maybe just looking around at the scene might make it. Maybe they just got displaced during the whole madness, or maybe we'd learn something. I don't know.
So you're trying to figure out what happened to Asher's items, is what you're saying?
Right. A set of rings.
Yeah, I heard those were taken a while back. Doubt you're gonna find much of anything. But I mean, yeah, could always try to take a look around. Probably need some company with you, though.
That's fine.
Looks off to his left and like motions the guard to come with and follow the rest of you. I don't spend too long. Buddy's got to come back here pretty soon, but wish you the best of luck. Hope we can find whatever's been happening going around these parts.
Thank you very much.
Lightning just nods.
Just looks at the three of you. Begins to
Dang,
open the
I
doors
didn't
up.
Get one of his rings. I might have been able to locate it.
Oh shit, yeah, that's true. Well,
Well.
I mean, I suppose that's another idea if these two ideas turn up short.
Anyway, let's continue.
Sure. Sounds good. So you all can make your way
Hey,
off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can we just assume that I brought Locke with me like I normally do?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, thanks.
So we all can make our way off to like the direct west from where the gatehouse would be. And you're following the block down, you come to warehouse 17. This is like a pretty large, kind of like run down building. It's like a good like 60, 70 feet wide, extends probably like 40 feet down for a few, width is 60 feet, length is 40 feet or so. Appears to be like a double floor, 2-story building itself. There's a like large iron double doors right in the center of the building, facing the road. There happens to be like kind of like narrow alleys on either side. So it's not like shoulder to shoulder with the surrounding area. What are y'all looking to do?
So you mentioned it's been a bit. So is any part of this warehouse marked, or is it all for Asher's Enchantments, or is it like shared between multiple different places?
The warehouse itself is not marked. All you see is like the numbers stenciled in or like painted on, marking as 017.
Okay. Because if it's been a minute, if it's been a while, then we're not going to see too much evidence of a disturbance, so it wouldn't be, well, it would be worth at least investigating.
Can I, like, see anything that's been, like, messed with? Or, like, does everything just look super uniform?
Give me a perception or investigation, whichever you'd be better with.
I thought of something else to check too, or maybe ask the guard.
Yeesh,
Uh,
my rolls today.
14. Not bad. Not bad.
Does he know how they got into the warehouse?
Does he know how
Like-
they got into the warehouse?
Right, like did they break in somehow? Did they actually make a hole in the wall or the ceiling? Or because I'm assuming the place is normally locked, considering it's a warehouse with inventory from all around.
Right. So this is like the first floor is like a red brick building. And it seems that it's kind of been like expanded upon with bits of red brick, bits of wood interlaced to form the second floor. It doesn't appear to be damaged anywhere. And the doors currently are both big double doors are just closed. So it doesn't really appear like there's been any sort of like interaction around them. Lightning, with your perception, you're taking a look around, like you're taking a look into the alleys, just trying to see where anything might be. You see a lot of like disturbed dust and like just debris kicked all around from the like cracked streets and the roads. Taking a look towards the back of the building, you do find what appear to be a couple like undisturbed footprints near a couple of barrels. The barrels themselves are like all lined up one by one by one by one, like shoulder to shoulder along the back side of the building. Nothing's been stacked. So they reach roughly like 3 foot, 4 foot high, roughly.
Okay. You said, okay, so you said that there's like footprints by them?
Yes, like directly in front of them.
I want to investigate the barrels.
Sure. Go ahead, give me a specific investigation for the barrels.
What the fuck is this shit?
Alright.
I'm only rolling I'm refreshing this page. I don't like it anymore. I don't like it anymore. It's just not.
We're just looking in a warehouse with a guard with us, kind of thing, is what we're doing
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, the guards just like accompanying you, making sure like you're not getting up to anything nefarious around.
Okay, I've refreshed the page.
I'm having Locke do a perception check to see if he notices anything weird, any weird smells,
Sure.
weird sights, that kind of thing.
He'll try to like take a like sniff around and begin to kind of like survey the area, but he's just getting like lost up in all the different smells that the docks and the warehouses have to offer.
Olfactory overload.
Yeah, he can't really like narrow
Understandable
anything
for
down.
a good pupper.
I think he does have an advantage for smells and sounds. So go ahead and give me
You're right.
another roll.
Oh, that's good.
24, okay.
Is this where magic items in general are kept, or just like any old thing?
Are you asking me or the guard or...
Actually, you know what? I'll ask it in character.
So the guard will kind of like straighten up. For the privacy of our citizens, I can't really disclose that information. The contents of the warehouses and within are up to the owners and where they choose to store their items.
Okay. Would you object if I were to cast a magic detection spell?
Well, you see... Well, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll ritual cast detect magic, which will take me 10 minutes, so
Cool.
you guys do stuff.
Begins to just like kind of lean back up against the back wall. arms crossed. You hear the like clatter of armor. Just kicks back and relaxes, watching you conduct your ritual. Locke gets a whole lot of sense.
Oh boy.
A whole
I'm also
lot
wanting
of
to
sense.
investigate. Yeah.
He begins like taking a look over every which way, and it seems that just a lot of smells seem to have caught his attention, and is beginning to like move one way, moves another way, looks around, and just like starts painting like eagerly, looking everywhere. With a 20 for the investigation, as you're directed over to the barrels by Lightning. And she points out that there's some footprints here. There's something going on here, but can't like tell exactly what's going on. You notice that the barrels themselves are all spotless. There's like some standard wear and tear, like they've got like scuffs on them, but they don't seem to be dirty or like have been used or rolled or stacked on top of each other in any way.
So the barrels are spotless, and yet there's footprints.
Correct.
Can I move the barrels?
Yeah, you can move the barrels. Like, do you want to move all of them? Do you want to move one?
Because what I'm wondering about is if the barrels are spotless and we can't find any way they've gotten in from the outside, it couldn't be as simple as like just there's a hole behind the barrel, right? Like that would be silly.
That could be a thought. And as you like try to like move and like peek back behind the barrels, you don't even need to move them. Like you can just try to like shift them forward so their backs are away from the wall. No, it's just the brick wall.
Okay, and where were these footprints again?
Right in front of the barrel. So if we were facing like the back of the building, right? From the wall, we're looking towards the back of the building. Directly like kind of strewn across, probably about like halfway down. Well, no, a quarter of the way down the building. It's a big, long building. The barrels are just spread all shoulder to shoulder along the backside. The footprints are in dust that kind of like, or dirt around the backside of the building, right in front of the barrels.
And if you were to stand on the barrel, could you climb onto the roof? Or are they that tall, or how big are
No,
these?
the barrels are like roughly like 4 foot tall, and this is like a two-story building. So roughly like 20-ish feet tall, plus like a kind of angled roof.
Okay. Can I ask the guard what the barrels are for? Because there's footprints around them, but the barrels themselves seem like they're very recent there.
I believe these are for some liquids of sorts that's often stored behind this building. I'm not sure what's exactly inside. I believe it's ale or drink of some kind.
Oh, okay. Can I have Locke smell them and see if he can figure out what's up with them?
Sure, I can try to like direct his attention over. He'll take a sniff. Not really catching much of anything. His attention is still just like on all the other more savory and appealing smells that are around. Doesn't seem like there's
anyone else
anything.
have any
It doesn't seem like there's
idea
anything
of
like
where we
of
could-
interest that Locke would find there.
Okay.
Are there any since I know like thieves can't, do I see any like sigils or like any like codes or anything that would lead us to or that would lead me to know like they're part of like some sort of maybe like thieves group or like guild or something? Like was anything like marked?
Taking a look around, No, nothing in the immediate area that's been like marked, or you can find any sort of like signs that would correspond to some sort of pattern. Even if you don't specifically know the pattern, like you get the idea of like this could be something similar to what I know, or
Yeah.
but nothing comes to mind.
Okay.
It's about this time, Gale, that your detect magic goes off,
Okay.
and I need to refresh myself on detect magic, my absolute least favorite spell of this goddamn game.
Anything with within 30 feet pings is magical.
Can you give me an Arcana check?
Of course. That's a 4.
Womp womp.
There's
I think you need to
nothing.
refresh your page as well.
There's nothing that you're able to really pick up on. Don't believe that magic
Nothing
would have
even
been
subtle.
nothing subtle, nothing that like would have been residual or left over. Seems like whatever this was a clean escape.
Okay. And this is for like the whole room? Like how big is it?
So we're at the back side of the building, so we're still outside.
Okay. So can we go inside?
Sure.
Yeah, because well, the barrels are weird and all. I don't.
Yeah, the barrels are weird, but I mean,
But we can't investigate it further without doing damage to the barrels. I think.
Sure. So you all can make your way inside. The guard will begin to like rap on the door and begin to occupy the space before you all. The door begins to swing outwards, and just you hear this like large resounding creak of the door. Yeah, as if like the hinges
really
need to be
good.
oiled real bad. You see like a couple of folks inside. See a real scrawny, thin, young human kid. See a larger, like well-built dwarf. And two just look at you, and they're begin to come out, look up at the guard. The kid kind of just like cowers behind the dwarf. Dwarf just looks up, no fear in his eyes. Oh, what do you want? What are you looking for? Red begins to just look back down at him. Yeah, sorry to disturb the work today. We got a couple of folks who are looking to investigate the surroundings, trying to figure out what happened to some missing items that went around. Yeah, I know this was a while ago. No, it's a bit of a wild shot, but they work for some folks in town, so you know. And he's like, give him a little wink. The dwarf begins to look at all of you behind the guard. I mean, they want to come in, not going to find anything, but as long as they don't get in our way, that's fine. Begins to show you towards the like alley, not alley, but like the aisle where the items were stolen. Inside, similar to the last shop, you just see like rows upon rows upon rows. Think of this like a small scale like Amazon warehouse, right? You just have rows of shelves with various different items. Each row has like a plaque or some sort of like card in front of it with a initial
Labels.
name and then a specific like number next to it. And you can see that there's some that are just dusty beyond belief. There's some that they're like blank spots, and there's been like dust settled around spots where items had been picked up. Begins to proceed to go towards the like left part of the warehouse, almost all the way in a corner, a couple aisles short of the corner. All right, so this is where they were at. We walk by every day. All right, we make sure that no items are gone. One day, one morning, first thing I come in, gone. And
Who
I'm not
would've
entirely sure
known?
what happened. I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, who would have known, like, where these were going to be?
Anyone who would have been, like, part of the order, anyone who, like, the space belongs to.
And there wasn't any damage to the doors or the walls as far as you all could tell?
No, the building's absolutely fine. There's no sort of like damage or damage to the structure, to the doors, the shelves. No other items were taken. Everything here is all cataloged and accounted for. Specifically, we just had one one crate stolen.
A crate, you say? What size is this crate exactly?
Begins to describe it's kind of like the size of like I would say like milk cartons, if that helps, like a milk carton box. Roughly 2 feet long, about like a foot wide. Recalls it was very light, not heavy, like easy to just pick up and run away with.
I see. Yeah, sounds like there's not much of a chance that the rings are just like fell out underneath something. Sounds like in that case they'd actually have to be stolen. Okay.
Right, we make sure that all of
Oh.
our goods stored here are sealed up, so there's no issue of them falling out or becoming damaged or anything.
Right.
But take
I'm
a
gonna
take a
look-
look around if you'd like.
Yeah.
If you need anything else, we'll be out stocking bits of the warehouse. So take care. Don't take anything. Looks at all three of you. Looks back at the guard. Make sure they don't take nothing. Begins to head off towards make off for his companion.
Is there... Can I do kind of like the same thing? Can I see if anything else has been moved? Or like anything looks like out of place?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Yeah, I want to do the same thing. So
Okay.
What the...
Well,
What is happening?
with a double 13, nothing else seems to be disturbed. The spots where the crate would have been, where the parcel would have been, you can see on the shelf, you can see, like, the plaque reads A.TRU space 472 as like what the label of the space would be. The spot where the items would be stored seems to have been like wiped completely clean. So there's just no dust. It seems in like perfect condition. There's like little specks of dust around the surrounding area, but nothing looks moved, nothing looks disturbed. Everything else looks like it's just waiting to be picked up.
you said A.TRU 472?
Yes, A.TRU 472.
Now, have I seen that number before? Or have I seen those symbols before?
No, these would be completely new.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
I mean, I would say examine the footprints again, but I mean, it's just the one set near the barrel, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe examine the walls on my way out. I don't know. Is there... Is there anything left in this space that belongs to uh let me look at the map again. Asher? Or
No,
was that the only thing in his space?
the space itself seems to be completely empty. Like there are a couple of items off to the left, off to the right, on the shelf below, but the space right in front of the plaque, completely empty.
Okay, and the plaque itself doesn't seem damaged or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
Anything else y'all want to do?
Perhaps we could return to the shop later. I don't want to get overly involved in tracking something down so close to the gala, if he doesn't mind waiting until after that. I just don't want to get caught up in a long quest and us not being present.
Sure. Yeah, he just made it like an offer. If you guys were able to find anything, he'd appreciate it. If not, is what it is.
Yeah, although, I mean, I think the next step after, like, the gala and everything is maybe asking for, like, a sample ring so that I could see if I could pick up on it.
Right.
Definitely ask.
Yes.
Though, before we go and then find a place to wait for Seb near the warehouses, can I double check that the barrel doesn't have, like, any symbols, signatures on it or anything, since it was made to be important?
The barrel outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, double checking it, you don't see anything. Like taking a look all
Okay.
around, moving them, you check each one individually, nothing.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, as you all begin to leave the warehouse, the guard will wave off to the two workers who kind of just shrug their arms back and begin to go back sorting different boxes. All right, is that the end of your investigation?
I think here, at least. I don't think we're going to find anything else. I think it's been too long.
All right, that's fine. I can escort you back towards the front gate and get you out of here. Begins to navigate back around a couple of blocks towards the gate you all had coming from. Is there anything else y'all want to do before we swap over to Sev?
I'm good.
No.
What do you all think?
No, I'm okay.
I mean, we're kind of waiting for Sev, so...
Yeah.
Okay. So it's been probably like a good hour and a half that you all were here trying to investigate and look around, see what all was going on. In the meantime, Sev,
Yeah.
you're able to make your way off to Undertown. You're making your way over to the Fontaine Ring,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a couple of your contacts. You walk in, and it's a little bit after midday by the time that y'all get here, or that you get here.
Mm-hmm.
Loud music, as vibrant as ever. You have like the smell and stench and just a haze of smoke filling the entire area. You're able to take a look around. Is there anyone that you're looking for in particular?
I guess anyone that that Fog and I would have been recently in contact with about just, general stuff.
Okay. So you can make your way over to towards the left-hand side. At a counter, there's a female dwarf that you're somewhat familiar with, Liv.
Mm-hmm.
You can begin to approach her. She sees you, sees the mask on, begins to wave you over, as if like calling for the next customer.
Oh, afternoon, Liv. How's the day been?
Uh, busy, as always. What brings you
Yeah.
around these parts?
Well, I'm assuming Fog is still off on business, yeah?
Yeah, Fog's not here at the moment. Been away for a fair while at this point.
Yeah, I figured as much. Now, am I am interested in finding out about some nasty business that's been going on about the warehouses. Now, um, we recently had a run-in with some, suppose, local thugs who were trying to steal something that we had protected for Dresmorland. Now, obviously, all of us in our association know that he is off limit. So, it's very clear that there's some rogue, thugs causing some issues about the place. Is there anything you know about this? Anyone acting, out of our influence?
Um, well, it was. They're just rumors, right? Something I picked up through the vines from some of Fogg's conversations.
Yes.
It seems they left. They heard word of a group that was coming up, that was starting to spring up around a couple of different places, called the Dark Suns.
The Dark Suns.
I'm not sure if that's exactly who you're looking for. It might just be a group on like the other side of the continent. Fogg was saying they were going off to the western side to track down a couple of leads, but that's the best I have to go on. We haven't really heard anything about specific like spot thieving down here.
Yes, well, I mean, we certainly took plenty of care of our own run-in. Had not much issue. Thing is, we've been informally contracted by a fellow by the name of Asha, who apparently also had a set of rings stolen by someone who possibly could be related to this other group who has no fear of tampering with Dresmorland. So,
Kind of shrugs her shoulders. We haven't heard anything down here. As far as I know, I mean, someone's kind of been off the list in the horizons of anyone we roll with. So, unless it's like a new name trying to make something for themselves in town.
that's what I'm worried about. I definitely think it's worth letting our own folk know to assert our own authority so that any of these new, younger whippersnappers know their place and that the city is not theirs for the taking.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. I'm hearing you. But I've got nothing.
I suppose I could do a bit of listening around, see if there's any sort of whispers I can pick up on, but certainly something you should be aware of, and should Fog return before I'm able to meet up with them again, should probably let them know that we might have some newcomers trying to muscle in on our territory.
We'll definitely pass the word along. I'll make sure everyone knows what's going on.
Well, Cheers, dear. I shall be off now.
Entire demeanor just changes. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Man, still like wave you off.
Yeah. So, next up on my itinerary is summon a mouse familiar.
Okay. Let's spend some time. I assume that you want to ritual summon.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and find a nice spot, kind of secluded, so you're not just like in direct view. This is Undertown. You can easily find like a back alley somewhere where either someone's just like asleep, laying up against the wall, just drunk and passed out. I mean, you can find a decent spot to just stay secluded.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to specifically stay out of sight?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm not really. I mean, it would be nice, but it's not a huge deal if someone spots me.
Gotcha. So you can take a good few minutes trying to summon. You have your like spectral form of your familiar out, just scurrying along the, along the ground.
So I want to have it just sort of run about town and see if the mouse can hear any anyone speaking about any recent hauls that might include rings.
Okay, so you just wanted to. Do you? Are you looking to have it stay for a while and like pick up on any information, or are you looking for something just like real quick in the next like 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Just take like a cursory like walk around, just trying to pick up anything in the meantime.
Just sort of like I guess kind of like have it go in one direction while I go on another,
Okay.
and just see if either of us can hear anything.
Okay. Sounds good. Go ahead and make me. I assume the mouse has a perception.
The mouse has its own set
Yeah.
of stats.
So go ahead and make that for it. Oh, you not have access to it?
No, I mean this is the first time I've used this spell.
Okay.
So
Go ahead and just roll me a d20 then.
okay. Wah. I really wanted to be a 19.
All right, wait 1 second. You're just trying to see like what it would potentially have.
Mouse statistic.
Has advantage on perception checks that rely on smell. All right, so this is just
Smell.
going to be a straight d20.
All right.
With a 3, you can wander
here.
around. Give me a perception as well. This is going to
Yeah.
be normal roll. Well, because
My
it's straight.
own
Yeah.
perception. Yeah.
So, fun fact about mice, they
What?
have
Oh, wait.
green and ultraviolet vision cones.
Ah.
Really?
So they can't see the colors red and blue, but they can see ultraviolet colors that we can't see.
That is interesting.
Isn't that like how the mantis shrimp? Like something about how the mantis shrimp works? Like it can see different
can
forms
see
of
it-
light
It
waves.
has.
Yeah, the mantis shrimp is a tetrachromate, which means it has red, blue, green, and ultraviolet.
So the thing about shrimp and the forbidden shrimp colors is it may have an extra color cone, but it doesn't blend colors as well. So realistically, it doesn't see any colors that we don't. It's just that the colors, like we can see the same colors they do by blending our color cones. They just have an extra one because they can't blend between different shades as well.
But they
Interesting.
can still see ultraviolet, which we can't see.
Yes.
Very interesting. as you're taking a walk through town, Sev,
Mm-hmm.
how long do you plan on spending around here?
I don't know, maybe half hour to an hour.
Okay. Say, like, at the end of the first half hour, just trying to, like, ease in and, like, eavesdrop on any conversation going on. Walking around, making a way, starting to, like, just circling around Fontaine's Ring and, like, the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
Moving a little bit outwards towards the rougher, kind of more seedy part of town. We're not picking up anything. You hear a couple tidbits of how someone got stabbed the previous week and they're trying to recoup from the losses, and they're not going to have enough money to cover buying food. They're going to have to probably steal some more from another cart from a nearby vendor. You hear a couple of stories about how times is hard and mine and just ain't the work like it used to be, and it's not paying out as well, and they're struggling. They got a collapsing lung. They're finding it a little bit like hard to breathe, but nothing relating towards any sort of information regarding either attempted robberies.
Damn. All right. Well, I guess I will have my oblivious little mouse return to me and head back to meet up with the rest of the gang.
Sure. You can go ahead and try to call your mouse back. How are you storing it?
You can actually like temporarily dismiss it, and it just goes to a pocket dimension until you ask it to come back.
Oh, does it? Oh, nice.
Yep.
Cool. So you can make your way back out. Let's say roughly with this amount of time, especially like making your way down south towards the residential market district again. Roughly about the time that everyone else is going to be meeting up. So flipping back off to Group A. You finish investigating the docks. You're led back towards the gate leading to the docks. Is there anywhere you plan on going after this?
Well, for my sake of time today, what if I go and see if I can't maybe find, like, I don't know, like, thieves? Like, because what I picture my character is, like, good at is finding people in, like, unsavory situations and, like, kind of, like, fitting in with them.
So go do your own survey that me and Mouse just did.
Kinda, but, like, just, like, through the city, like, seeing if maybe I can get info.
Like something
Like-
in action, maybe? Something that's kind of going on in the background?
Yeah, like, maybe I can stumble on something happening, or, like, kind of just, like, taking a couple of walks, like, through different docks and different, like, warehouse districts to see if, like, you know, I can kind of get a lay for, like, how everything works, and, like, how, like, kind of in my brain being like, okay, like, if I were gonna steal something, like, how would I get away with it here? Like, kind of thing.
Sure. Go ahead. Give me 2 perception checks.
Okay. God fucking.
Oh
Okay.
man, the dice are just.
Oh
not
no,
letting
it's
us
even
go.
worse.
This city is squeaky fucking clean.
Apparently.
Whatever alleys you're going through, like, you think you hear like a little bit of a rustle, and you take a quick look around. It's just a bush. It's just like a tree branch scraping up against the leaves of a bush.
A squirrel scurrying away.
You're
But
trying
you know
to.
what? Every city has an underbelly. Like, I
Oh.
know
Better be
better.
careful about the squirrels.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, you're able to, as you explore town, you see that, like, it starts to get less and less upkept the further northwest you go. until you begin to look over like a little bit of a cliffside stone stairs leading down, and you just see like these ramshackle different like dilapidated houses and shacks and like tents towards the far back portion of this district against the wall and a mountainside. I get the feeling this is probably where more of the seedy type folks would hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you run into me.
Right, and
Right.
like this is around the time that like you're now bumping into Sev as Sev is beginning to come up from the stairs. Go ahead and give me an int check real quick.
Investigation or
Int.
intimidation?
Intelligence.
What? What? Oh, like
Great intelligence.
this roll?
Is it the right one?
Yeah.
It is the right one. Yeah.
They do
and
the
with-
right one? Hell yeah, we're learning.
And with a 12, as you're taking a quick look through the city, going through a couple of the shops, looking for like any sort of like back alleys, going through any of like the residential areas, trying to find someone like sneaking through or just looking a little shady. You start to think about where you've been today and where everything's gone, who you've encountered, different places you've been. And then it clicks. There's something about that Quentin dude. You remember some of the things you found from the last dungeon you're at, and how there were specific blueprints that had different etchings of runes on them, thinking that potentially you might be able to use them.
Mm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hang on, I wrote these down. It was not the Revivify scroll, right?
No.
This would have been the blueprints for the Rune of Returning.
Yeah, okay.
Just in case you forgot, didn't want to just tell you. Wanted to see if you would remember.
I mean, I have notes. They're all kind of jumbled now.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries. I just figured it's a new thing, and this is a homebrew thing. So, wanted to just make sure that was the idea got across.
Okay. Okay. So, what can I do with that?
You could give Quentin the blueprints. Try to take a quick look at it, and then begin to start work on modifying a weapon.
Okay. That's the one where I basically can send, I can throw it essentially and it'll come back to me, kind of like Thor's hammer type thing.
Right. You could throw it and then use your bonus action to recall it, as long as there's like a straight line right back to you and it's not blocked.
Can I have him do that to my Chris?
Yeah, if you want to, on your next stop there, you can absolutely bring that up with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark that down so I don't forget.
It is going to cost a bit of money, but that can easily be discussed when appropriate.
But if I'm bringing him the thing to actually do it, I'm basically providing the mats.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be less if he had to do all the work by himself, but he is still performing the work.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Okay.
So in addition,
Okay.
if they were to make like a weapon, if they were to enhance the weapon, that's a lower cost than having to, enhancing the weapon, like an existing one would be a lower cost than just making a brand new one. So when possible,
yeah.
like providing a resource like that would definitely offset some things, but definitely not everything.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, for my sake of playtime that I have today, let's say that I kind of I see Sev, I say hey, I'm gonna go back to this place really quick because I'm not finding anything about the rings.
Yeah,
And-
I did a decent look around my part of town. Nothing on my end either.
Yeah, and we weren't able to get any info from any of the workers either. I'm going to go back and see Quentin and see if he can't work on something for me.
Oh, indeed. Well, um, seems like nothing but dead ends for now, but, we could meet up later on in the day. I'm gonna go see if I can find the others, see if we can come up with some other ideas for
Yeah.
what to do next.
All right. Well, I appreciate you stopping by while you can, Vic. Before you leave,
Thanks.
give me a quick persuasion.
Persuasion.
Yeah, just for the upcoming conversation.
Oh, thank God.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Finally.
Okay, so I'll keep that in mind, and then we can talk about what that combo is going to be like later.
Yeah. You can message me too if you don't want to do it while like everyone's playing.
Yeah, I got you.
And we can work it out for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys, and
Take
I'll
care of
see
the
you next week.
baby.
I know.
Have a
I feel
good
so
night.
bad.
Give him a little kissy on his sweet little head.
I will. I'll give him some squitches.
And tell him his Auntie Hope loves him.
I will. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, friends. I gotta go back to doing the Discord screens. Well, that said, Seb, you can make your way all the way back, probably meet up, I assume, potentially back at the guild hall as like the main base of operations at the moment.
Yep. So much walking.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Like, y'all have made your way across the
been
city back and
everywhere
forth and back and forth. It's probably getting to
Right.
like mid-afternoon now. Like, the sun's beginning to like go across the sky. Clouds just lazily drifting by. And if there's nothing else that you all would like to do, you can retire back towards the guild hall as well. Rayleigh and Gale.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think to do at the moment is just check the guild hall for the job posting.
Yeah, we can always look at job postings.
Sure.
So we basically solved or are waiting to search for the equipment later, or are we still meeting up with Sev? What's going on?
So I assumed that you all were beginning to just meet up as like to have a nice like central point to meet up after your split.
Reconvene.
Yeah, over at the guild hall. So everyone's
Okay.
back together unless you have anything specific you'd like to like head off and do.
We'll meet up again, but I'd like to go back to the museum just alone today if there's still enough time.
Okay.
All right, me and Rayleigh could always go fishing out of town.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to take like you can head out of town, like walk probably like a good like roughly hour down south and begin to like set up around the coast of the river.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, could I get, what do I want from y'all? Really, do you remember what we did for you with your shenanigans? I assume you're going to do your shenanigans again, yeah?
Yeah, it was animal handling.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me some animal handling then.
I know we had mine as like a tool, but I don't think we moved it over to beyond here.
So that would be your, what would that be? The fishing pole would have been your tool, so that's just your proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
I think it's just your proficiency bonus, so just d20 plus the bonus.
D20 plus 3. Alright.
Yeah, it's been a while, but the shenanigans were summon Mage Hand and Unseen Servant
Yep.
and
And then
summon a mantis shrimp or some kind of sea creature to
Yeah.
roam the
Oh no,
lake.
you did minor minor illusion to like make fake bait.
Right.
So that
Yeah,
the
I
fish
forgot about
could
that part.
smell worms, and then I rolled a 15 on my fishing rod.
Okay. Give me 1 second, still just trying to get the camera sorted again. So we had the animal handling is 18, had a 12 on the rod. Okay. So we'll say you
15.
spend. Sorry, with the +3. Yeah, got you. Let's get. You're out here for an hour together with the both of you. Okay. All right. Luck was not on your side today. It's been a bit. You've been hard at work studying. You've been hard at work training with your newfound mentors.
We don't have a very easily accessible fishing spot anymore.
It's a bit hard to like set everything up, and even with all of the summoned help, it's still rough. Total between the two of you, you catch 6 fish.
Damn.
I see.
Well, still jerky. I'm gonna yeah, I guess we can hang these up on my drying rack back at the guild. I'm gonna take a piece of fish jerky that we already have and feed Mr. Wiggles.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You can get the bit of fish jerky out. You can like bring in this like basket you've just been like lugging around with you and like drop it in. Nothing happens immediately. You see that like it's just sitting there, like you just placed it in this like basket of sorts as if you were gonna store more. But it's in there now.
Big meal.
Big meal.
Fantastic. And with that, Gil, what are you looking at doing?
I would like to make my way to the museum with notes in hand and want to see if I can get Agatha's attention.
Okay. So you can make your way over towards the museum entryway. The attendants are very familiar faces from yesterday. They see you and they kind of like brighten up. You see the woman Elaine who had left to go get Agita before. Kind of like just smiles seeing you come in, at, like taking an interest in you coming back. Well, hello. What brings you back today?
Somewhat personal matter, but I think I might need Agita's help with it. You see, there's a book in the library that caught my attention, and seeing as how Agita's the head archivist, she might be the one to speak to about supplementary materials relating to said book.
I see.
Unless you have other librarians I could speak to.
No, she would be in charge of all the books and transcripts and archives and such here. Would you be a dear? Looking over to her partner to the right of her, and she pulls out the closed next teller with the arrow pointing to the right sign, places it down, grinning, and just shrugs her shoulders and begins to go back through the main hall. You hear him just exasperated sigh. It's every
I guess she pulls the
day.
shit a lot.
You can take a stand around towards the left, right near one of the suits of armor in the entryway. See a couple of folks beginning to come in. It's nowhere near as busy at this point as it was the other day for you. Roughly 5-6 minutes goes by, and Elaine comes back with Agita, who just bursts through the doors. She's got a book that she's holding up with her little piece of like on top of a like wooden clipboard. I'm gonna just take a look around and makes eye contact with you, Gale. Just looks at you expectantly. Yes, I heard you had a question about one of our books here.
Hang on, I'm gonna have to go into my journal. Was there a title to the book?
No, there was no title that I had. The like chapter was marked as Spiral Outbreak, though.
Okay. I mean, I'll direct her to like whatever catalog number that was and mention the chapter. I have a vested interest in this chapter. And I can say with 100% certainty that this is real and not a myth. You see, I'm from Silphsong, and this plague has affected the inhabitants there. And one of my missions is to find a cure for it. So if you have anything at all regarding this disease, supplementary materials, anyone else I could speak to, any kind of lead, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Yes, I'm quite familiar with the book to which you're speaking of. Perhaps this might be a conversation better suited for my office. If you
Yes,
please. And then begins to open the
course.
door, waiting for you to follow. So you can make your way and follow Agita in through the doors off to the left, going back through the administrative rooms, and she leads you to the like furthest office down the hall, and opens the door, waits for you to enter, and follows in beside you. Begins to like kind of shove a couple of books off the side to her desk and stack them. Pulls out the seat for you and asks you to sit down before finally taking her own seat.
Yeah, I'll take a seat.
So, you say that this outbreak is true.
100%. The village's leader of where I settled from was afflicted by it, among others, and one of my missions was to find out more about it, because nobody else seems to be able to, like, cure it. That's what brought me to Abbey Brook, and I guess as fate would have it, I would find more information about it here.
That's bizarre. It seems to happen, well, records indicate that it happens, well, every so often, but nothing so stable. Back in the last reported cases, we didn't have the method to try and isolate or study or understand from my readings.
And I've been taking to alchemy to try and see if I could eventually find a cure, and your library was actually quite useful for that. I managed to find a potent ingredient. But I'd very much like to read more about the histories, and if you have any other colleagues that are aware of the phenomenon, I'd like to speak with them as well.
I do have a couple of associates, both in town and out of town. A couple friends of mine, we have a sort of book club together, I guess you could say. I'm not sure if they would have any sort of inkling or understanding of matters such as this, but I could potentially reach out to some of the other cities and see if they have some sort of knowledge or perhaps records of these occurrences. Perhaps
I would take it as a great favor if you could do that.
Oh, absolutely. Perhaps even looking into some of the records that might be kept in Hartham, up to the north. They're one of the largest cities up in the northern lands.
Yes, I'm quite familiar with it. Gale kind of tenses up a little bit.
There's also, I don't know if this would have any sort of relevance. There is also Dulbador, in the northeast, mostly home to the dwarves and the associated kinsfolk there up in the mountains.
Okay.
Where you're from, it's coming from the north. I assume not quite in the mountains yet.
This is kind of where I'll have to like cheat my way through some of the lore and give her the general area.
Sure. So you're in like a bit of a clearing, between like a forest, snowy tundra-like area. Probably like a good 3-4 days travel from actual base of the mountains.
And while I'm at it, I mean, she'll probably be curious. I'll mention like fossils, symptoms, and everything that's gone on in the village.
Yep, absolutely. She'll take out like a piece of parchment from a book that she'd been jotting down elsewhere, begins to like fold a portion where she actually wrote, begins to lick her finger, tap her nail on the desk, and just begin to write down on the piece of parchment, taking intricate notes of everything you're saying. As to to spare no detail.
Yep, I'm gonna basically pour everything out and even wondering if druidic magic can't help with it, maybe cleric magic or something could help, or
You do know one of those.
yeah.
Yes. So, they're turning to stone, you say?
Yes.
And there's been no indication that there's any form of beastdom involved?
Not as far as we could tell. I mean, they just stay in stone form. They don't, like, revert to, feral creatures.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. I would be a bit hesitant to call upon the church for delicate matters such as this. There's a tendency to cart off folks who are simply accused of having some sort of semblance of a curse.
Does the spiral symbol look like anything else cross-referenced in Cyndrus's history?
Give me a history.
Sure.
I'd say history or
Absolutely
religion.
not.
Not a goddamn thing.
Is religion higher for you?
Probably, yeah. It's like +5.
Give me so history or religion. So
That's better.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. With the 17.
A lot better.
Sorry, with the 22. Probably from your days spent in Hartham, teaching, studying. Do you recall, like, when she begins asking about, like, the sort of, like, symbols, like, what does it look like, mentioning that the church could potentially be very interested, perhaps defensive about this. You start trying to think, why would the church be defensive about this? What's the connection there? And it crosses your mind that the spiral that grows along the arm has 4 distinct lines around it that could be construed in a way similar to the sign of Grizzak.
And
Well,
does Agitha have any musings on that as well? Because I was asking that out loud.
It doesn't seem to be bothered by it, doesn't seem to make any sort of mention of it.
Okay,
Just
so she
saying that
doesn't know.
she would be worried about, like, potentially endangering anyone who wouldn't need to be endangered.
Okay, sure. But does she have any theories as to anything else that would be related to the symbols? Because I was kind of asking about that.
Gotcha.
So can she make a check and maybe muse on something is basically what I'm asking.
Trying to think about what she would know. Let's see here. Where is Agita?
Just asking because she probably has like all kinds of connections and she has this book club and stuff, so she'd probably come across something or other.
Yeah. As she's writing everything down, she begins, you can see like her hand kind of like waving back and forth, trying to like emulate the twisting lines along the arm and trying to like draw like a rough shape of a arm out. Begins to stop and think. I'm not familiar enough with any sort of symbols or signs or symbology. That's not my particular area of expertise. I could certainly try to reach out to some of my friends, though.
Of course.
See if I could study a bit more in these this potential symbols. This is news to us that it seems to take on like a specific shape. I will certainly pass that information along to see if we might be able to investigate a bit more. But now the question...
Also, I should mention, I'm keeping this as somewhat of a private matter until we have a lot more information. I haven't even really told my allies about this, but if we could just keep this between us, that would be great.
I understand.
And it sounds like keeping some discretion on this is good in case the church gets wind of it.
So, if I were to inquire about this could potentially be a very, this could bring forth a lot of attention. So, if I were to look for any specific information or updates or anything else regarding this, it might attract some unwarranted attention to your village. I will try to be discreet as I can be. Just trying to explain that I'm looking into some occult legends.
Yes,
I might not be able to get
mention of the veracity at 100%.
I might not be able to get perfect information or everything you're looking for, but if I hear word back, anyone has some sort of inkling, I can try to refer you their way.
Of course.
All right, well, I certainly appreciate you coming to me with this information. Is there any more I can do for you?
No, that's everything. And, well, I suppose I'm kind of dropping this bomb for one thing, I guess because even just coming across this text in your library just caught my attention. And number two, well, Dresmorland and the museum has been generous to us, so maybe there'll be some sort of academic study or paper for the academic who researches it, and, well, maybe that'll be you for all we know.
Kind of giggles to herself and just see this little like grin begin to creep up her face. Begins to Spare yourself out.
But discretion is
drops.
100% the smart thing to do. And I'll see if there's a way I can get in touch with my village. How is the postal system in the city?
In the city, it's fine. We get deliveries, packages from time to time. If there's any larger items or more valuable items, they're often saved at the docks for those of us with a storage for them, as you're well aware. Going from town to town is a bit more fickle. Really depends on the distance, on the danger presented from going from one city to another or from one region to another. It really depends. It's a bit easier within like the 5 to 10 mile range, but outside that it tends to become quite expensive in a journeyed process, exchanging from one hand to another courier to finally get to its destination.
Alright, so I'll have to write a lengthy letter to Silksong and see if I can get further instructions from them as to how to proceed with this exactly. But I'll at least keep them updated with what we've come across for now.
Absolutely. And if I have any more musings, any more notes to share with you, where would I be able to find you at? Should I leave them with someone? Should I wait for you to come back here?
Have it sent to the guild hall, and just have it in like a sealed scroll or whatever it is you need to send to me under my name, and I'm sure the secretary will send it my way.
Understood. I have the ability to stops writing for a moment and begins to show you all the notes that she had. If I were to address this strictly to you, it would mean that nobody else could see the script here for about a day. After that, it will become legible again, but it might help with your avoidance of attention.
I could transcribe it in a language only few people can read, so, I mean, that would be perfect.
All right. Well, then, if I have any more notes, any news to share with you, I will direct it over to the guild then, for your eyes only.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help. I'll be sure to visit the museum and look forward to the gala tomorrow, or is it the day after?
Day after.
Okay. See you in a couple of days.
Begins to wave you off, and you can make your way back into the corridor with the administrative rooms.
Okay. I guess I'll make my way back to the guild hall.
Okay. Really? Sev,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
you, in the past hour, have reeled up 6 fish total.
6 fish.
And, taking a
And
look
we
around...
fed Mr. Wiggly.
Let me go see if I can make another roll for you. I'll see if you've, as we're approaching the next half hour-ish to an hour, see if there's anything else going to be popping out at you. Oops. All right, the second leg of your fishing adventure is a bit more productive.
Good.
You managed to scrounge up 8 fish together.
Nice.
Yay.
I'm gonna just feel the kind of slimy, slippery bits of the scales just begin to come out of the water.
14 fish isn't bad.
Your
Not at all.
animal companion is just keeping them all under wraps and able to like guide them right over to your net. Really, not a bad haul for the day. Said as you begin to put your fish away, you take a look into the basket, and you see that it's about like a quarter of the way dissolved. Like the center, like just plopping the fish right in. The center of the jerky has been like completely eaten through, and you see like bits of the left and right halves begin to like get sucked into the little bit of the cube at the bottom.
Cool.
Happy cube.
Awesome. Well, my pet has been fed now.
All right, so I assume after this trip, do you want to stay out here, or you want to take a trip back to town?
I'm good going back myself, but
Yeah, we can head back. That's fine.
yeah.
Okay. So you all can make your way back towards town. It's gonna take you a decent while trying to get back, especially now we're approaching like the early evening, beginning to get
Yeah.
a bit busier as everyone's beginning to return to their homes and the normal busyness of the city day begins to die down.
Yeah.
All right, so you're able to make your way back towards the guild hall and relax for the day. Is there anything else that y'all plan on doing to round the day out? If you'd like, you can take a look at the like surrounding shops just to kind of like reacquaint yourselves with items. If there's anything you want to restock up, like stock up on, or you just want to call it a day, rest up at the.
I'd like to visit a new leaf.
Okay.
Sure.
Give me 1 second. Where do I have you?
State is closed according to the screen.
What's up?
Oh, I double clicked on a new leaf location.
Oh.
Yeah, it's closed.
Oh, that's just. I'm just here for the notes. It's not actually open closed. It's fine. Just looking for what stock they would potentially have.
Basically, I'm looking for maybe a larger pot, some dirt, fertilizer, and maybe some botany advice from someone who might know more about these piranha plants.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the pots, let me double check here. Dirt, fertilizers. Fertilizer's probably gonna run around like 5 silver.
Sure.
The pot itself. Are you looking for like a larger, like cooking stock pot, or something smaller?
Oh, like a planter's pot.
Gotcha.
Like, I
Okay, so
don't
like a
know if
ceramic
it's
pot.
Growing, yeah, or if it's like like terracotta kind of
Gotcha.
material.
Yeah, so you can easily find a like a couple of different options. You can get like a singular clay pot. You can get like a quad pot. It's like 4 of the single pots kind of like all fashioned together to form a square. Or you can find just like an entire like 1.5 foot long box.
Big are they? I mean, I might be going into detail about something that was supposed to be like throwaway, but
No worries. I'm trying to imagine like how big I'd imagine it would be. Like the singular pots are probably
and
like,
it's been like a
6
couple
inches.
of months. Yeah. Okay, so like I just know because like my mom has like a bunch of African violets that keep growing like crazy.
Yeah.
So
Oh, as far as like the plants themselves,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say that their shape hasn't changed at all, or like their size hasn't changed at all. So yeah, roughly like
Okay.
6-7 inches tall, maybe like a
Okay,
foot tall if like fully extended, erected to the sky.
Okay, I mean, I'll just buy a couple for when that happens, but, and some extra dirt and stuff.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what else do they sell here? I guess I'll look at the note.
Right. So I don't have a shop listed for this one specifically. So give me 1 second to reflect on my notes here.
Okay, I mean, I was just kind of doing this for flavor.
I got you.
I suppose while we're there, I could ask if they know anything about the keeping of gelatinous cubes, and if Mr. Wiggles might be more happy in a pot than his basket, or if the basket's good.
So there's a like female elf attendant behind the desk there. Begins to just take a look at you and begins to look into the basket, just like this horrified face of disgust. It just kind of like lets loose a little bit of a scream as she sees the like green,
Yeah.
kind of like oozy bit of the gelatinous cube.
What you
Just
described.
still consuming the bit of fish jerky too, probably.
Yeah,
And
like
from what
this,
Dale described, this would be like showing a shopkeep like a rat you're keeping.
Yeah.
She begins to explain that she has no idea what this is. She's never seen anything like it. Feels very uncomfortable with it being inside the shop at the moment.
Well then, I suppose I shall take my business elsewhere then. Just kind of like flip my hair and like storm out.
Sashay away, and
Yeah.
Gale kind of face palms a little bit.
She just like looks at you leaving, kind of like just timidly, and just begins to say, "Okay, bye." Just eyes the 2 remaining individuals inside the shop. Do you have anything on you?
No, my 2 piranha plants are in my room. I just kind of came for some pots, some fertilizer, and if you had any books on botany.
I left my well-trained wolf outside, so.
She stares directly at you, really.
He's a good boy for what it's worth.
Yes, we have books. I can, okay. Excuse me. Begins to like shuffle off towards the back around the counter.
Guess she doesn't like animals.
She'll head off to like one corner of the room, like rummaging through a shelf that's along the wall, and comes back with 3 or so books. They're all. Each book contains 3 different recipes.
Ooh.
And they're all around like 25 gold each. Mechanically,
Okay.
these would be 3 recipes for 3 common brews. So if you want to take a look at 1, 2, 3, how many you want to try to go for. I don't have any specific recipes on me at the moment, but I can always get those to you at a later point.
That's fine. I guess I just kind of wanted to know what was here, and if I make some extra gold, I might take advantage.
Sure. Begins to mention how like these are these are beginners books. So if you're looking into trying to brew anything, or let's say there's 2 like alchemy books. There's one specifically for like taking care of like growing plants and living plants. This is a bit of a rare case, not really meant for beginners. I myself don't have very much experience in the case of living, breathing, eating plants, but this will point you in the right direction. I'm sure there might be someone who's a bit more experienced in that area.
Alright, I guess I'll kind of peruse the book and look at the table of contents and Is this just like a general book on plants and like an encyclopedia, or?
Yeah, it's like it goes over the basics of like how to care for plants, the like specific amounts of water, not to like overwater them and kill them. The breakdown of different kinds of plants and like um fertile
Do I
soil
see Mr.
going
Chomp
over.
and Mrs. or do I see Madam Chomp and Mr. Bitey in this particular book,
So
or the type of
specifically,
plant they are?
specifically about living plants, there's um like a chapter going over how there are living plants. They will like eat certain
Carnivorous
uh
plants.
yeah they will eat certain insects. They'll eat certain like meats if left out, but no specific like classes or like families of plant listed.
Okay. I guess I'll decline the book for now and say I guess I'll just give it the old hands-on approach and try and figure it out myself.
Okay, well, wish you luck. Are you still looking for the fertilizer and the pots?
Yeah, I'll definitely take those.
Okay. So were you going for the 1 pot, 4 pot, the whole like large, like 4.5 long row?
I'm thinking like larger pot than I already, or pots that I already have, like just 2 single ones, and maybe just enough um dirt to like fill them and transplant later for when it comes to that.
Okay. So the dirt is gonna come like pre-packaged, like each like it's gonna come in like its own sack of dirt.
Yeah,
Ranging
probably
in
like
various different prices and like combined with the like fertilizer together, just like lay
Yeah.
down. So that's gonna run
it's like
you,
potting soil.
yeah, it's gonna run you about 5 silver for the fertilizer alone. It's gonna last
Sure.
a decent while. Um, the pots themselves, these are a bit like specific, handmade. I'd say each they're gonna run probably up like 4 silver, so 15 total.
Okay. I spend 15 silver.
Fantastic. She takes the money, swipes it across the desk, begins to like try to struggle to like try to carry the sack of dirt off to the side of the counter. Begins to
It
pants.
doesn't have to be huge, but like sure.
This is like a half-pound bag.
Oh,
It's
okay,
just
so I
like
guess she's
awkward to carry.
no,
Makes sense to me.
All right. Well, is there anything else I can do for the two of you?
No, that's everything.
All right. Well,
Thanks
enjoy
for
the
your
rest
help.
of your day. Take care of your pets, I suppose. Begins to bid you off.
I guess I take a look at Locke and give him a nice pat.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Sure. Just tail wagging, sitting down outside beside Sev, just panting away.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Locke and I stayed out here to keep our dear friend in the basket company since we weren't wanted elsewhere.
So this is just like a green jello that we're looking at, right?
Yeah, essentially. You see,
Does
like,
it
What
have
was-
like fangs or anything, or does it just like absorb things?
it is like a very thin layer, like a very thin square, almost like crepe thin, maybe like about pancake thin, just like set into the bottom of this basket, not quite reaching like the very bottom on the other side. But like anything that like surrounds it, like is like overlaid on top of it, just begins to like slowly decompose and get sucked into the ooze.
There's like remnants of fish jerky from earlier.
Don't these things get potentially dangerous? Like human eating dangerous?
Well, only if they're big enough. I mean, I certainly don't think any of us are going to fit in this basket for him to eat us.
Solution: make
Yeah.
it your friend and have it as a combat buddy.
I mean, right now I'm just thinking he could indeed be useful if we ever find ourselves in possession of organic matter that we want eliminated.
I don't think it's gonna be eating any unwanted organic matter anytime soon. Gale kind of
Well,
keeps that vague deliberately, seeing as how we're out in broad daylight and shouldn't be talking about murder.
now I never said anything about murder. Did I? You're the one who said that word.
That was like out of character. Like, I'm not saying it in character, I was just sort of like saying that as an aside.
Regardless, I suppose we could still see if we can find a better library to find information about vampires. Still coming up short on that one, and we got a bit sidetracked earlier.
Well, maybe you could try and ask Agita if she could find more materials for you. I mean, she is the archivist there.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. At least we know where to start there. Alright, then let's go.
Where you want
Back
to
to
go?
the library.
I do want to check something. Where is Elio's Curiosities?
Elios's Curiosities is towards like
And we're
the
not that far.
like very center of the market square. Yeah, it's gonna be like a 20-minute walk if you wanted to cross a couple blocks to get there.
Would they still be open at this time of day?
It is starting to get late. Begins to approach actual evening now.
Right.
Shops generally close around 8 o'clock. I'd say at this point we're getting to like 7-ish. So a quick 20-minute walk, not gonna be a problem.
Okay, I think I want to visit there.
Sure.
Alright.
So you all can make your way off a couple of blocks, and you've been coming down this way for a while
Quite some
now.
time.
Yeah, you've been in the city for a while. And these are some very familiar streets that you've been walking near the guild hall. On front and center of Grimsooth's Market Plaza, you can easily spot the building. There's a large multicolored sign that marks the entrance. You can open the door. There's a little bit of light coming out from the candles lit inside that's kind of like breaking through the darkness of the sun, now beginning to fade. And inside you see the well-kept interior, brightly lit all around, and stocked as a general goods shop. You can see really any manner of items, ranging from mundane to traded weapons and armor to a few magical curiosities here and there. You see the proprietor, an elderly human man who calls himself Elios, towards the back of the shop, who's beginning to take items off of shelves, beginning to place them into crates below his desk. As the bell rings and you all open, he begins to slowly get up and take a look around.
Mood.
Oh, yes. Right towards the end of day. What can I do for all of you?
Well, it's my first time being here. I heard you all might have some magic items, and I really just wanted to look around and see if there's anything that I could use in my line of work. I mean, I work for the guild, so.
Is there any sort of... Do you have any sort of predisposition towards the items you'd be looking for?
Well, I have been looking for a featherfall ring. I could use a different type of weapon. I don't know. What do you all have in stock?
Well, um, specifically looking for any sort of magical items. Don't need anything more mundane for your day-to-day life. If you work for the guild, I'd assume
It
you can
depends.
use... Depends, okay. Well, let's see. And then he begins to stretch, and you just hear like a little pop as his back cracks.
Me.
He begins to walk around the counter and goes through some of the, goes to the back and begins to, you hear like him rifling through some boxes and crates beyond a doorway. Comes back with a box of scrolled up pieces of parchment and begins to like place them out on the door for you, or on the counter for you. You see that there are a large number of scrolls. You see that there's a scroll of shape water, scroll of healing word, a scroll of shield of faith, a scroll of grease, scroll of ceremony, a scroll of feigned death, and a scroll of Lehman's tiny hut, all ranging in price from a paltry 55 gold to 540 gold. As far as the weapons go, he does pull out a war pick that's kind of been like shoved into like one corner of the box. Begins to go over how this is a masterwork item, meant to be used for more combat and inflicts a bit more damage than a traditionally crafted weapon.
You said it's a war pick?
A war pick, yes.
Yeah.
Additionally, he does have two items here that are not specifically in the store. He has a set of mithril plates. Let me just double check real quick. I'll make sure I get my facts right. Right, so this would be some very sturdy, heavy armor, made of various like elven crafted like interlocking sheets of metal that kind of like form fit to the body. But being made out of mithril, there's some room to breathe and for like little bits of padding and cloth, where the metal is reinforced, but the any sort of like clanking around, if you were to try and move quietly, would no longer be present. And he also has a trident that has been crafted and enchanted to find its mark much, much more easily than any other weapon. But this is a special, specially crafted weapon that found its way to his hands. I'll go in detail about how it's gone through a couple of different holders, and he doesn't have the item with him now. But if you were interested and had enough money, he could set up an arrangement. For the tridents, it would be around 5,400-ish gold.
It is quite a bit. Well,
It is
Worth remembering, though.
absolutely. It will serve its user till the end of his stays.
I do know someone who might find it interesting, but they are not in town at the moment.
You can always direct them here
How
to...
much?
Yes.
How much for the war pick, too?
The war pick would come to around 1,360.
Okay.
Well, that's a bit out of our budget for the moment, but
It might be in the budget soon, though, so... Well, to see.
Just seeing what you have in stock.
I understand.
Now for the individual scrolls, how much was the healing word scroll?
Scroll for healing word. Begins to like look through and begin to go over the details of the scroll. Checks and like cross references a couple of pieces of paper he has out. The price would come out to about 150 gold.
Okay. So, any other mundane items that you sell here that would be useful for like hunting or anything?
Would he get scrolls of prestidigitation in stock so Seth could learn it?
If we have any scrolls of such, you can always try to come back and see what we have in stock. There is an ever-revolving stock here. And it like gives you a little wink, Gale. As far as hunting equipment or hunting gear, any sort of items that traps and such, nothing available.
Okay. Then sounds like most of the things I want right now I'll have to actually come back and get at a different time. But thank you very much for helping me out here.
Yes, of course. Enjoy the rest of your nights, you three.
Cheers.
Can I get a perception check from y'all as you begin to walk away?
Sure.
Perception.
Okay.
Hello. Come on. Did you do the thing?
Sit.
There we go.
Okay. Really? You specifically being the one asking all the questions and kind of like getting the nuances of Elias's voice. As you're slipping away, you're kind of like perusing the items last and making your way towards the door. You just hear him begin to mutter, "It's always right before close when the strangers come in." Begins to like mutter back and he's rifling under his breath, trying to put all the scrolls back into the crate, putting the pick back into like the
Everyone in
corner of
this
the
town
box.
super passive aggressive. Like holy shit.
It is like right before close. Like he got
What a
out
big
all of
deal.
his stock.
People.
Like, and begins to like just make his way
Right, that's fair.
into like the stock room and hear the like clutter of the wood against wood and as you leave the exit through the door.
All right, then I guess we can go head back to the museum.
All right, let's say, I mean, around now, it is around 8 o'clock. Things generally tend to slow down and close around 8 o'clock. Do you still want to try to head off there as you, is just trying to see if like any of the administrative personnel's there, or do you want to try to like just retire for the night and come back in the
We
morning?
could probably just go for the night then, if it's getting late.
Okay. Sounds good. And the rest of y'all?
Yeah, I feel like that's fine. We've already went fishing. We've done all the shopping that we can, so
Yeah.
I think we're good. What do you think, Gail?
I don't know.
So are we retiring or trying to make our way over to the museum?
I'm
Let's go to the
fine.
museum.
Okay.
Well, all right.
So you can...
They probably would be closed if everything else is, to be honest.
But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay. And just to be clear, is tomorrow the day of the gala or the day after that?
It is the day after.
Okay.
Currently it's the 29th. We're looking at tomorrow, the 30th, and then the 31st would be the gala event. Roughly around midday or so tomorrow is when your clothes are expected to be done.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've got a calendar. I should be using it.
The only thing I'm not
Okay,
tracking
thanks.
on the calendar is time because it's a little finicky. But you can take a look at like the current date as well as like any events coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so you all can make your way over to the guild hall. You can retire for the night. It's a little rowdy. Not all of the rambunctious crowd have left Grimsmith. There's a bit of drinking at the like tables immediate to your immediate right. The library itself is just completely cleared. A little bit of a fire going through in the hearth. You can easily just make it up to your rooms and retire for the night, taking it easy.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So I will ask all of you, do you want to continue into part of the day tomorrow, or should we call it here?
I'd say call it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay. Figured I'd open
Just
it
so
up,
that
but
we
this
have-
seems like a decent stopping point to recoup
Yeah,
and see where things
natural
go.
and
Right.
Fantastic. Well then, with that,
have the whole gang next week.
yeah, we'll have everyone back next week. Enjoy the 4th of July to those of you who are celebrating and
For
partaking
those
in
who
any sort of
celebrate.
festivities. Currently, we've got like fireworks going off right behind me.
Yeah, they've been like the last hour or so.
Yeah. But as we head off, let's take it easy. Let's slow it down, and let's go through some thoughts. I know today was a rather slow day, so that there might not be a whole lot to add. But how are we feeling? I think we'll. Who's off to my immediate? Right. That'll be Hope. How are you feeling? How's Seb feeling? What's going on? Has anything changed?
I feel like she is definitely a little concerned at the concept of like rival, like thieves guild type of situation coming in, because that does not bode well for our group, especially since Fog's not even here right now. But I don't know. I mean, could just be isolated incidents, but it's still something to be wary of. But other than that, she's just happy that she finally has a pet.
Fair. A nice little find that I did not expect.
Anyone to care about.
It was a throw. I was trying to think of like charming little items that like an artificer could create, and I figured, I mean, you got trash. You got to find a way to dispose of trash. It's perfect. So I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Mr. Wiggles is now part of the group.
And that takes us over to Rayleigh. How do you feel about Rayleigh, Wolf? How are you feeling about the event so far?
Well, I mean, Rayleigh got confused about the suspiciously clean barrel for a while. It became a focus for sure.
What kind of piqued your like interest about it? Like, why did you? What purposes do you think it could have served?
Well, I mean, there's still a few questions about like what the contents of the barrels are. I mean, it would be a way that you could, if a barrel didn't have anything in it, then I guess you could do the Wind Waker of just hide under the barrel. But I mean, assuming the contents of the barrels mattered, then I mean, it could be literally anything. I mean, they didn't need explosives, so there's no reason why it would be an explosive barrel. And you can't just like open the barrel while you're being watched by a guard, so in turn, barrel stays closed. there's footprints in front of the barrel, but it's been like a while, so those footprints could just be the guard's footprints. It doesn't mean anything. The barrel isn't tall enough to climb the building, so and I
Very,
doubt it's like a barrel stacking thing. So yeah, I don't know what's up with the barrel.
yeah, very curious indeed.
The rest of it was just fun window shopping for the most
Yeah.
part. So it was a good day overall, and we caught some fish.
Yes, we did.
Fantastic. And you, Gail, I feel like we've had a bit of a development that's kind of gone
Yeah.
under the radar so far. How are you feeling as Gail as a player, and how much do you want to like divulge? Because I don't want to overstate or oversay anything.
I'm feeling pretty good. The only reason why I don't want to talk about it with the party is because I kind of feel there should be a bit of discretion, even from what Agitha told me.
Mhm.
And also, Gale's just kind of super private, so like he
Yeah.
didn't want to like bring that up. And although he's friendly with the party, I mean, ultimately his mission is to kind of figure out about the disease, so...
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you feel like you've made any sort of like large sort of progress towards?
Well, having something, period, about it, it's definitely a start. I just kind of have to wait around and see what Agitha comes up with, but until then, it'll just be adventuring as usual, I guess.
Is there any specific like lead that Gail might be hoping for? Any
Hoping
sort of like
for a cure for one thing, but I mean, given that people barely acknowledge its existence is going to be difficult.
Sure. Yeah, that would make sense. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all coming around
Yeah,
tonight.
I
It's
just
been
realized something.
so.
Thinking about an exploding barrel is an anachronistic statement. Gunpowder isn't exactly commonplace.
True. Excuse me. True. There are other ways to explode things apart from just gunpowder.
Right.
But yeah. I mean, I think the thought boils down to just like some way of like breaking inside, and through like some
Right,
use of
exactly.
materials or whatever else. And I think the real mystery is there's nothing broken. There's no signs of forced entry at all. What does
How'd
that
they
mean?
get in?
Yeah, but do we just work there?
Do they
There's
work
Yeah.
that's
there?
a possibility there.
Questions, and we'll see if we get there. But friends, I do appreciate you coming through tonight. It's been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. Are we good for next week?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. So take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and I shall see you next time.
I shall see you in 30 seconds.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.